Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third and final video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's final video, day 10 will take us to the 18th of December, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. Yesterday's GFS and ECM ensembles over around a couple of weeks. Have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks, gets us into the beginning of January. I shall get on that for you very short. Just say that first video to save us our 7 AM upload. We've also released USA forecast, so please check out those 2 videos if you'd like to do that. Thank you so much, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe on the vids. And yeah, it's amazing, it's incredible. Thank you so much, everybody. Now we've reached 12.8k subscribers, 12,800 subscribers. Got to put another 200 to get to 13,000 subscribers when we get to 13k. We are going to be giving away an Amazon voucher. Thank you so much for getting us this far. And we hope to do that before Christmas. I think it'll probably be in January, though. It's getting very close to Christmas. I think we're going to run out of time to be able to do this before Christmas. But whenever we get there, we will be giving away this Amazon voucher. There it is. We've got it. It's worth £30. So somebody will win that. You know, we're going to give away £30 for, you know, shopping at Amazon. When we hit 13k. But we're going to hit 13k first. So please give us a sub. Tell friends, family, everybody else to subscribe as well. When we get to 13,000 subscribers, we will be giving away that Amazon voucher. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that and for getting us this far to 13,000 subscribers. Wow, wow, wow. Big number there. Right, let's crack on with video. Then we're going to start off with central in temperature. So CT is currently standing at 4.9. I've gone under 5 degrees now. That is 0.2 of a degree below the 61 to 1990 average. That's provisional to yesterday to be 7th of December. So it's been quite a cold start to December. We're going to see that lifting up from the weekend onwards. So the weather is going to start to get a lot milder. So by this time next week, I'll probably be up in the 6s, I would have thought. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for York. We're looking at York today. And we've still got some more cold weather to go. So below average temperatures continuing for the next few days, but over the weekend into next week we get this lift up in the upper air temperatures. They're looking generally mild as we go through the 3rd week of December. That's that period just there. There may be a cooling trend in evidence still as we go up towards Christmas. We get to Christmas Eve today with the GFS output. We've got a few quite cold outlier members appearing down here. They are outliers, but I think there is a general slight cooling trend that is in evidence as we move towards the Christmas period. But we are in for an extended run of mild weather, certainly around the middle part of December and into the 3rd week of the month. This will be brought about, of course, though, by high pressure. So if we have a look at the pressure ensemble, mean cell pressure ensemble. You see we're starting off with low pressure at the moment from Storm Barra, but from this point onwards, pressure is generally trending upwards, and so as we go into the 2nd half of December, we have got high pressure then between around 1,030 and 1,040 millibars. So actually quite intense high pressure building up through then. And generally keeping high pressure going towards the Christmas period as well. Maybe a slight trend to low pressure a little bit up towards Christmas, but overall high pressure is going to be in the ascendancy. As far as the surface temperatures are concerned, it's not as clear cut to be mild there as high pressure is bringing this increase in temperature. You know, it's not as clear cut to be mild in the extended. We're starting off quite cold, of course, at the moment. We're going to be seeing the upper air temperature lifting up into towards double digits. This is for York. Further south, we will be lifting up into double digits for a few days there around the middle part of the month. But I think there is still this cooling trend that's going on as we move up towards Christmas period. And, you know, there the minimum temperatures, I suppose, down just here, like for this mild period, so very mild day and night, but we do see increasing signs that some of these ensemble members are going into towards frost levels up towards Christmas period. So I think we're going to cool things down towards Christmas after very mild into, but it is all associated with high pressure. Temperature anomaly is on the 8th to 16th December, coming out a little bit above average. It's going to be quite a mild week to come. And precipitation anomalies from the 8th to 16th December there in order to drier than average in most places. Latest wind flow map from earth-nullschool.net shows that low pressure is sat over top of the country, so it looks unsettled with Storm Barra sitting over country, bringing in an increasingly chilly northwesterly wind. So UK, mate, Euro looks for midnight on Saturday, so still quite cold then, building up this little ridge of high pressure ahead of the next area of low pressure in the Atlantic. But it's really Saturday into Sunday, but it starts to drag in that milder air from the southwest, so temperatures will begin to lift up as we go through the weekend, actually becoming very mild down in the south. Northern areas, though, will be unsettled, with this low bringing quite a bit of heavy rain through then. And then into the early part of next week, stays unsettled and very mild, really. This gets us to midnight on Wednesday. Got high pressure over France, low pressure around Greenland, Iceland, and we're drawing up this really mild southwesterly wind. So remaining or staying mild into next week, and particularly so in more southern areas. So the GFS midnight run is looking again at this little ridge of high pressure as we begin Saturday. That soon gets pushed out of the way as we draw in this much milder southwesterly wind from Saturday into Sunday. Early next week, looking generally mild. There will be weather system pushing through the country, perhaps introduce something a little bit cooler for time early next week. But overall, the emphasis is on mild weather and relatively dry weather for the south. For the early to middle part of next week, always a little bit cooler and more unsettled further north and west. So many more extreme range high pressure takes over, although we do have this bizarre sort of scenario where there's a trough within the high, but I think that's a little bit off on a tangent. Overall, the trend, I think, as we go through the middle part of December into the second half of the month, will be high pressure to increasingly take over. This is a warm bridge, this is a mild bridge, so temperatures will be relatively mild. I imagine there'll be a lot of cloud with that, although with time, as the high pressure sort of sits there over top of the country, we will probably start to see the cloud beginning to break, and we'll probably get a little bit more in the way of frost and fog. So this is where that decline in the temperature comes from, where I showed you on the temperature ensemble graph. Under the high pressure, I think we'll gradually start to see the weather beginning to get colder as we move towards, or cooler as we move towards Christmas. As far as we get to with the GFS midnight run, which gets us to Christmas Eve. By that point, we're trying to raise pressure a little bit over Scandinavia and are putting some very cold air down into northern and east parts of Europe with this trough low pressure moving through west of Russia. That's putting down some very, very cold air into the far northeast Europe. If you look at upper air temperature, you see Scandinavia has plunged into a freezer then, as is much of northeastern Europe. Obviously, we're under Marie, so we're kept out of trouble, kept in the clear for that region of high pressure. But if that high pressure was to get up Scandinavia and get wind into the east, there is plenty of cold air that's lurking there up to the north and the northeast. So the GFS 6Z is looking, so again on Saturday we'll be under a little ridge of high pressure. We'll keep it mainly dry but quite cold, but the next low will start to push in from off the Atlantic, and that will drag up much milder air from the southwest as pressure rises over France. Into early next week, looking very mild with southwesterly winds, keeping things pretty mild through the early part of next week. Mainly dry in the south, closest ridge of high pressure will be more unsettled with the southwesterlies though up in the north. That's Wednesday, this time next week. Again, high pressure dominating across England and Wales, mainly dry, very mild there. Further north, it will still be very mild, but it will be a little bit more unsettled for Scotland and the Northern Ireland. The trend up to day 10 is to increasingly build up this area of high pressure. High pressure takes over as we move towards day 10. And, it's a mild area of high pressure, warm area of high pressure, but because it's December, if the skies are clearing, and this might, be clear with the skies, as I think the high is kind of centred over Germany, and so we're probably bringing in drier air and breaking up the cloud from the continent. So I reckon that has a chance of some frost and fog beginning to develop. But overall, of course, that is a warm ridge of high pressure once again. That high is very intense as well at 1,045 millibars. That's a really intense winter high that's sitting over top of the country as we get through to the 19th December. It's something that like 40 years ago would have fogged up very, very quickly, and that would be really cold and foggy like 40, 50 years ago. Now, with Clean Air Acts that we've had, we get less in way of fog. But nevertheless, I think that probably has a decent chance of becoming quite a cold ridge on the surface, getting an inversion under that very intense area of high pressure. Moving into the extended range, the GFS 6Z is also dropping in a trough of low pressure into northern Europe, and western Russia, and so it turns much colder in the far north Europe. Again, we're under this ridge of high pressure up towards Christmas, so we're keeping that at bay, that very cold air. There's the upper air temperature on the 22nd and 17th. Most of Europe has, or northeastern Europe has been plunged into bitterly cold air with that trough of low pressure. This ridge is just about keeping it at bay. But it gets a little bit closer, actually, I think, with the GFS 6A compared to midnight run. Although most of the cold air actually plunged down in East Asia. So the Balkans, again, plunged into freezing cold weather. Into Greece, you get snow into Athens, while London would be mainly green, so white in Athens, green in London, from that kind of pattern. But, it is trying to get that high pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. It's trying to reach it northwards, so where that high pressure goes will be interesting. Certainly up to Christmas Eve, we kept on the periphery of the cold, but the fact that the GFS output today is plunging very cold air into northern Europe is of interest and is of note, and I shall say no more than that. We've got to wait and see how it all plans out, what this ridge of high pressure ultimately does. Moving on to GM. If you enjoyed the video, please smash your like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment, let us know about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, Saturday. Again, we've got this still been relatively cool air on Saturday with this little transient ridge. That's been pushed out of the way as we go through into Sunday. Very mild air being drawn up from the southwest from Sunday into the early part of next week. Through next week, increasing trend towards high pressure over to the eastern country. High pressure takes over. The GM moves that high pressure up towards Scandinavia as well, and does pull in a bit of an easterly wind, although it's not particularly cold easily, but the GM does actually successfully move high pressure up to Scandinavia by day 10. And then the ECM looks like that. Again, a very slight little transient ridge on Saturday. Will be quite chilly for most of us on Saturday, but by the end of the day we will start to drag in much milder air from the southwest. So as we go through Sunday into early next week, it's looking generally mild with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north and to the northwest. Then through next week, the high pressure increasingly taking over, dominating weather, sitting over to east countries, an intense area of high pressure as well, 1040 millibars. And I think, again, despite the fact that the upper air temperatures with that are going to be mild, there they are, actually warm upper air temperatures. I reckon because the high pressure is kind of sitting slightly to our east, we would be dragging in continental air. So although it probably has a lot of cloud with that high pressure to start off with, we probably break up a lot of that cloud. It is winter, very long nights, allows the heat to radiate in space. So I reckon there's a decent chance that could start to turn quite cold with some dense fog patches potentially. As well as the air is pulling in, from off the continent. Very, very anti-cyclonic on all model runs, though, by day 10 today. So it does look as though this big winter high is on the way. This will be a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tometro.com. So initially still unsettled with quite a bit of rain, hail, snow mixed in as well. It's really over the weekend that we start to change things and turn a lot drier in the south. And even in the north, not as much rain actually as we go through the weekend. And into the second half of next week, we're dominated by high pressure. So there's no measurable precipitation anywhere then as we get towards day 10. Right, so that's that done. Let's have a look at the October table within the ECM ensembles for day 10, which gets to the 18th of December. 16 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure right over top of the country. That does include the ECM control room. 11, again, with high pressure sitting over and to the east of the country. So, once more, we're going to see lots of dry weather with that. 9, including the operational run. Again, with high pressure more or less over top of the country. Another 9 with high pressure pretty much over top of the country. And then 6, in line with the GM, I suppose, going the high pressure up towards Scandinavia and bringing in, probably not particularly cold easterly, but bringing in an easterly with those 6. all options are very much dominated by high pressure. Just the issue is the exact position of the high pressure, which will make quite an important difference actually to whether it's a cloudy and mild high or a cloudy and warm high, or whether it's a clear and cold high. So the exact position is quite important with this pattern actually, but all options involve high pressure. The only question is where that high pressure is sitting at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, which gets us just before Christmas, to the 23rd of the month, the eve of Christmas Eve, we have 15 members of the ECM ensembles pulling the high pressure out to our west and possibly trying to get it up towards Greenland. So that is just very, very close to pulling in a cold northerly blast. There's a trough moving through Scandinavia. We're not in a cold northerly blast at that point, but it looks like it could be going in that direction. 15 taking the high north and centric, like over Scotland and in the Norwegian Sea. That will start to bring in much colder air, probably from the north and from the northeast. 14 with the high pressure in over Scandinavia, so it turns the high pressure into a proper Scandinavian high with these 14 and brings in winds from the east. That would be cold as we're, approaching Christmas as well. And then 7, much milder, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and winds in from the west. So where this high pressure goes is very important, I think. And there is still a chance of a cold Christmas here if that high pressure goes either to Scandinavia and pulls in a proper easterly wind, or goes to Greenland and pulls down a northerly wind. Of course, the high pressure might also go south, as we see with the 7 there, and pull in milder westerly winds. So it's all to play for, really. It's all to play for. And where this high pressure goes will determine, I think, what kind of Christmas we have. CFS week 2, finally, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 8th to the 14th of December. The coming week pulls the high pressure out into the Atlantic. That's its low pressure in from the northern Atlantic. So cool and unsettled still in the coming days. All change for week 2, which is the 15th to 21st of December. The high pressure end is over and to the east of the country, or northeast country, low pressure out to the Atlantic. Winds coming in from like a southerly, southeasterly type direction. The model will say that's mild, of course. The model will look at the upper air temperature parameters and say that is a warm ridge of high pressure. Because the air is coming in off the continent, there is a decent chance that that could actually be quite cold with frost and fog on the surface. Week 3 is the 22nd to 28th of December over Christmas. The high pressure sort of pulling back in towards eastern Europe and northwestern Russia, but also has a ridge around Iceland, which is quite interesting. So that's a very bizarre sort of chart, what's going on there. I suppose the high pressure probably breaking, and some of the highs going up towards Greenland, Iceland, some of it's retreating back into Eastern Europe. That might start pulling something a bit colder from the northeast, though. And then week 4 will be the 29th of December to 4th of January, and the high pressure then is sitting to our west-northwest. And it looks like we'll probably be pulling in quite cold air around that high from the northeast. I don't think the CFS has got a handle on what's happening with this high pressure. This is all looking very different to what the CFS was showing just yesterday. As early as like week 2 and 3. So I don't think the CFS has got a handle on what's happening with this high pressure. And probably all of the other models haven't got a handle on what's going on with it either. So, as I said, Christmas, is up for grabs here, I think. What's going to happen? Will we sit under the high pressure, have a mostly dry, maybe frosty Christmas? Will we take the high pressure to Scandinavia, pull in an easterly wind, maybe get some snow showers into the east? We'll get the high pressure to Greenland, pull down a northerly wind. That would be coldest for Scotland then. Or will we take the high pressure south and just reintroduce a mild westerly zonal flow for Christmas? Place your bets now, everyone. It's all up for grabs. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. And drop a comment. Don't say anything about this and all of our videos. If you sub, you will be able to see future weather content. And we will keep you informed, about what's going on as we move up towards the Christmas period. Thank you so much. Another 200 subscribers will get us to 12.8k. And to our Amazon, £30 Amazon giveaway. Thank you so much. Right, that's it for today's videos then. So, yeah, you know, next instalment for all of this is going to be tomorrow. I have European Outlook tomorrow. Have a 10 to 14 day number Christmas update coming up tomorrow as well. So a lot going on. Keep checking back to the channel for more. But for today's videos, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great Wednesday. Bye for now.